Why, hello there, guys. I am back. I would love to have some sort of clever, pithy greeting for you, but considering I'm socially stunted on a good day, probably won't think of a good one for a while. This is February wrap-up and March TBR. Sorry, I'm like horribly tired and I have ginormous bags under my eyes and I've had a migraine for like 2 weeks, so I had to wear my glasses today, so I apologize for like the glare from the lights. Alright, so I read for February a total of 10 books, which for me was kind of low, but like I said, probably towards the last week and a half, 2 weeks of February, I really didn't do any reading because I had a terrible migraine, which it still hasn't really gone away. But it's been for about a good week and a half-ish now. So yeah, the first book that I read was The Wedding by Julie Garwood. Now this is a book I have owned for years. I have read it before, but I was in kind of a historical romance novel kind of a mood. Probably because Valentine's Day was creeping up on me, and I had to reread this one again. So this one is about Brenna and Connor McAllister. Connor is laird over his own clan, Clan McAllister, and he is feuding with this other clan who is responsible for the death of his father. And this, as is typical in most Highlander romance novels, has turned into this lifelong kind of a feud where they continue to, naysay and one-up each other. So Connor's final kind of a fuck you is to kidnap Brenna, who is actually on her way to marry this other laird, and Connor marries her before the other laird can. The second book I read in the month of February was Born of Vengeance by Sherilyn Kenyon. This book was horribly disappointing because Sherilyn Kenyon is one of my favorite authors. I wanted to cry. It is about Bastian and Ember, who kind of have a Romeo-Juliet kind of a thing going on. They were together, but just basically a giant outside forces combined with stupid typical misunderstandings kept them apart. And they pretty much stayed that way for the entire duration of the book. They got back together in the last fifth of it. As far as her League series, this is probably my least favorite in the entire series. Next, I read Falling for the Highlander by Lindsay Sands. This book was, good lord, I can barely remember, Murian Carmichael and Dougal Buchanan. Murian's a Highlander who is currently living with her half-English brother after the death of her father, and her brother tries to sell her to Dougal Buchanan in exchange for some horses. Murian runs away on a bull, or an ox of all things, and comes along with a party of travelers in the road. It just, of course, happens to be Dougal and his brothers. They allow Murian to travel with them, to protect her from her crazy brother. Next, what was it? Keystone, which is the first in a crossbreed series by Danica Dark. Keystone is about Raven Black, who is a half mage, half vampire in a time where this is kind of supposed to be impossible. Mages and vampires, I think, are made as opposed to born, and their sires are supposed to either be unable to crossbreed or not allowed. In a time where basically everybody is being tracked, Raven Black has to stay off the grid, which means she is unable to officially work or kind of exist because she's illegal in and of itself. It was a pretty good book. Raven gets sought out by this super secret organization who fights off, other monsters, and they see her skills for fighting and they want her, and then they have just this back and forth over the course of the book. It's kind of a cliffhanger, but not really. It's a resolution, but everything still kind of feels unresolved, and it's the first in this series, so it just came out. Second book is not even written yet. I'll kind of see how I feel when the second one comes out. As far as first books, it wasn't horrible. No, we'll just kind of see where it goes from there. Since I like this one pretty much, I picked up another book by Danica Dark, which is called 7 Years. This is in the same kind of a universe with shifters, mages, and vampires. This book follows Lexi and her family 7 years after the death of Lexi's brother, at which time their family kind of fell apart. Now, Lexi's brother's best friend, Austin, comes back at this time, and Lexi finds out that he's a shifter, and he kind of wraps her up in this whole alpha male kind of I want to protect you, part of my pride or clan, or what's the word? I don't know. But it was okay. I kind of just didn't read any more of the novels after that. I may delve into her other universe, but we'll see how that goes. And then I read Alpha Ever After by Jessica Sims. You can look at the cover and tell it is total foolishness, and it was total foolishness. I also read Fire Rising, which is the second book in the Dark King series by Donna Grant. This book is about dragon shifters, and I kind of just jumped right in the second one. Then I read The Wrath and the Dawn by Renee Adia. I'm sorry. But it is a retelling of 1001 Nights, which I loved as a kid. This book was not what I expected, but in a very good way. I expected it to be kind of Juliet and Warner-ish, like everybody kind of liked Warner and was gushing about him, and I was just like, but it's really hard for me to like the villain in the novels. But Khalid, who is the king who is murdering his brides every morning, it's just, you have to read it. I don't want to give it away. I may do a book talk, but if you have not read that book, this is one I will definitely say check out. And then lastly, I saw the preview for this book, the trailer actually, for the movie that's supposed to be coming out over the summer at some point, and it looked pretty awesome, so I purchased the book. This book was a total brain fuck. It was kind of like, what is that movie with Leonardo DiCaprio and the insane asylum and the island? Kind of like that. Like the whole book you think one thing and you get to like the last chapter and the author just goes, psych! I haven't decided yet if I totally love this book or totally hated it. It's just one of those things where like the story was very cute, but a lot of the inaccuracies and kind of things that the character had to go through was very much like dumbed down and simplified, like exponentially. And that's enough to kind of make me hate a book. But then I also have to remember that this is a YA book, so it doesn't have to be very accurate as far as, medical conditions and things like that. I guess to tell you what the book is about, if you don't know, this book is about a young girl who has what do they call it, skids. Basically, she has to live in a bubble. Her immune system is such crap that everything and anything makes her sick. She falls in love with the boy next door, then all of a sudden she don't want to live in her bubble anymore. Like, it's kind of kitschy, kind of predictable, but the end was like a big fuck you or a big psych. I haven't decided yet. I kind of feel like now, after I've had time to process it, it was a big fuck you. But you gotta read it and find out. Oh, that's not, I got one more. The Bride Tournament by Katie Curtis. This was a Cinderella retelling. It was pretty interesting. Not so much YA, which I thought it was. It's a little adulty, the themes in there, some of them, but if you like retellings, it wasn't horrible. It was pretty good. I give it like a solid 3.5-ish. Those are my 10 books that I read in the month of February. Now, for my TBR, we'll see how this goes. I did make a list of the books that I want to read, but I'm very shitty at following those, so my list gets very convoluted and shit gets pushed down very quickly, which I'm sure it does most people. We'll see. We'll see. Firstly, Carve the Mark by Veronica Roth. I debated on this one before I finally bought it. I pre-ordered it on Amazon and then I took it out. I didn't really watch too many of the reviews on the art of this book that a lot of people have gotten, but someone said something about there being like a racial kind of an aspect to it. We'll see. It's supposed to be like a dystopian YA novel, a galactic dystopian, I guess. Since I'm still very pissed at Veronica Roth for Allegiant, you know what you did. We'll see. Next book that I want to read in the month of March is The Star-Touched Queen by Roshani Chakshi. Sorry. This book, after I read The Wrath and the Dawn, I was like, okay, I really need to read this book. The tagline for this book that got me: fate and fortune, power and passion. What does it take to be the queen of a kingdom when you're only 17? And then you can see that, you know, the character is very ethnic. She has her sari on the cover of the book. And also, when you go and check it out on Goodreads, you can see like the questions that are asked on the top. And someone asked the author, you know, if there were any myths or stories or retellings that influenced the novel. And she says, influenced by many Hindu myths. So that pretty much cemented it for me. I really want to read it, but I have got to stop procrastinating because it's just been sitting on my Kindle for months. And I'm finally gonna like just get my life together. But probably after I finish this next book, which is on my TBR, which is The Rose and the Dagger. After I finished The Wrath and the Dawn, which this is a sequel to, I immediately went and got this one. And I've already started reading it, so that's at least one book on my TBR that'll be done. Yay. The Sun is Also a Star. I got this one when I was halfway through Everything. It's by the same author. It's different kind of a story, this one. In this one, the main character is Jamaican, and either she and or her family are facing deportation. And there's a romance aspect thrown in there somewhere. I didn't really read the summary because I was like right in the middle of everything. I couldn't put it down. So right now, I still can't make up my mind. If I hate, you know, everything, I'm not. Next, A Promise of Fire, which is the first book in the Kingmaker Chronicles by Amanda Boucher. This book is about Kat, who is a soothsayer. She doesn't want to be a soothsayer. She's supposed to be a very snarky character from the reviews. She is not allowed to basically run from her fate. She's kidnapped by Griffin, who is a warlord who is determined to have her help to save his people. Also, this book I'm not even going to bother to summarize because everybody, I'm pretty sure, on BookTube has read it but me. This is a book that is purely on my TBR because of BookTube. I would not have heard anything about it if it was not for BookTube, but I have heard, you know, pretty much 99% good things. So yeah. Also, then we have Curse of the 10th Grave by Dorinda Jones. So I pretty much binge read books 1 through 8 of this series, which is about Charlie, who is a modern day Grim Reaper, and she is also a private eye. Charlie is very goofy, very like snafu prone, very snarky kind of a character. Her husband, he's the son of Satan, but he's also like some type of reincarnated guy. I don't know. The 8th book, they had a baby together, and then the 9th book, Charlie basically kind of gave herself amnesia unintentionally from the pain of having to, you know, send her newborn kid into hiding. But I didn't really like the 9th book much. Or maybe it's just because I got kind of tired of the storyline, but at any rate, you know, The Curse of the 10th Grave, and then I think the 11th book is actually out now. So in an effort to catch up with the series, Curse of the 10th Grave is on my TBR. The final book on my TBR for the month of March, which is a book I have been highly anticipating, Norse Mythology by Neil Gaiman. Sorry. Purely this book caught my attention because of the cover and then the fact that it's Norse mythology. Any type of mythology I am a fucking sucker for. Egyptian, Greek, Roman, Norse, I'm there for it. So this book I was super excited about. And that being said, I also, apparently there's like this whole cult of people who love this man. So I got American Gods also, but I'll see how I feel about that after I read Norse Mythology. With that, guys, I'm trying to do better about these long ass videos. Keep them a little shorter, quit fucking rambling. So that is it, guys, for my February wrap up and my March TBR. Hopefully I'm not too damn late with this thing because it's already the 3rd. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.